Okay, we just posted a thing on Instagram, a live video to sort of tell people that we're starting up. So hopefully we'll get some people coming in pretty soon and be able to chat with you guys and have some fun. So I'm just logging into the chat here so I can chat with you guys via text if I need to. But obviously, anytime we do this, you guys sort of chat with us and we can respond audibly. Um, that usually works. So we're just getting going here. We're gonna start up pretty soon. So just as always, let me know if audio levels are good and you guys can hear and see everything well, and we're looking good. So let me know. I'm just gonna fiddle with some things here before we get going. Let some more people join. Probably post something else on Instagram. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Exposure therapy, all good. Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Good to see you. As always, you're one of the names that we recognize every time, so it's awesome that you're joining us again. Thanks for that. If you have any questions about anything or anything you want to talk about, posts that we've written lately or cameras we have coming up or your own questions, just feel free to ask. Like I said, I'm just kind of getting situated here, running a little bit behind schedule as always. Kyle's not with me. He's usually occupying this space right here. So we don't have a Kyle today, but that's all right. We've had no Kyle before, and we've made it work. So he's usually kind of like handling the chat and sort of taking care of some of the stuff with the computer. We usually have another computer set up over here, and he's sort of handling that. So the stream might be a little less fluid, no pun intended today, but we'll do good. Robert, you need a bigger monitor to see fine detail. Well, that's it's something that we're gonna deal with on this end as well, because we're running a couple of different cameras here. So uh, and the program that we run the feed through sort of has some limitations as far as what resolution we can put out. But we're working on that, to improve the resolution. Especially now that we're uploading these to YouTube, we kind of want better resolution, because YouTube can sort of make the most of that. But yeah, so we're gonna work on that too. So we'll try to get you guys some better visuals and yeah. Anyway, it's an ongoing sort of project, right? Ever evolving, and this is very much sort of like this is something we kind of do for fun and to engage with you guys. So it's more of a time thing than anything else. But anyway, we'll make it all work. How to fix the Photomic Finder on the Nikon F? Merlin, I wish I knew because this prism is also not working. The meter is bad. Uh, I've read up on it a little bit. There's some sort of like copper brushes in there or something like that frequently wear out, even when these were new supposedly. These prisms would have to come in for service a lot more frequently than you might think, because those parts wear out and they would need to be replaced. But anyway, I'm not at that skill level yet, so we're gonna we're gonna save that for another time. Uh, but today, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on some lenses again. I'm a little bit like I said, I'm a little bit frantic today. Things have been a little bit crazy, so I kind of want to do something that I know how to do pretty well and not sort of experiment too much. But so we've got a couple lenses here. I mean, so this is a OM 55 1.2, pretty fast. Um, so this, you can see the aperture is not flipping back or snapping back open when we close it. So we can do that. The only thing, I've never worked on one of these lenses, so that's going to be kind of an experiment. I don't know if my brain's up to that yet today, but then we have a much more sort of pedestrian Minolta 51.7, and same thing, oily aperture blades. I've done these a bunch of times, so I mean this is going to be an easy fix, but I'm going to kind of let you guys decide. We also have this Nikkor, which is a zoom autofocus Nikkor, and to be frank, I've never worked on one of these either. But same problem, right? So the aperture is not opening or closing, so I'm assuming it's oiled up, kind of gross. So we can do that too. So I'll give you guys some choices, and also let me do this too. We might as well just throw another curveball in here. I have this Canon FD mount. It's a 200mm f1.4, and it has the same thing, right? Aperture, oily aperture blades. So we need to clean those too. So here you go, 4 lenses, and you guys can pick. The first person that answers, I'll work on whatever lens you guys want me to work on. So think about it and let me know. OM 1.2, I guess that's it. I guess we're diving in. I'm going to read some chat here. Hello to Hong Kong. Great to see you again, as always. Save the F. What's your opinion of post-processing your film negatives in Lightroom, Phase 1, etc.? That's a good question. I mean, people do talk about that quite a bit, and there's definitely different camps, right? Some people are like, if you're going to shoot film, why would you post-process? If you're going to post-process, why don't you just shoot a digital camera? And then there are other people, obviously, who say, you know, film is it gets them most of the way there, but they want to tweak it a little bit. I, for one, don't really care what people do. If you want to post-process your film shots, absolutely do it. I do. To answer, I guess if that's the question you're asking, do I post-process film scans in Lightroom? I absolutely do. I use Lightroom. You know, I'm sort of, I guess what I'm sort of the way that I think a lot of people are these days that are into film, right? So it's not like a rigid thing. It's not strictly film. It's not strictly digital. I appreciate film and the aesthetic, and more so, I appreciate the process of shooting cameras that are very mechanical and tactile and sort of provide that sort of link to a different era of photography. So for me, a lot of it is the machine, and then the aesthetic of film is sort of just a bonus on top of it. Um, so if I shoot film, I'll get all the scans, and you know I won't edit every single one, but the shots that I think are special, or the shots that I really want to sort of maybe get printed or post on the website, certainly I'll do some editing in Lightroom. Not heavy editing. I mean, editing film shots is a little tricky. It's not like editing a raw file, so there's not as much room there, I guess. So you do kind of you are constrained a little bit by the fact that it's film. But I think that's a good thing. You know, you get the personality and the characteristics of the film you're shooting. So if I'm shooting something specialized, certainly Portra or Ektar or a slide film, I'll try to fiddle with that as little as possible, because I want it to sort of retain the personality that film has. At the same time, you have to understand that if you get your film scanned by a lab, if you're not doing it yourself, they are doing that. I mean, every lab is going to color correct, and they have profiles, or they have just experienced technicians who have been doing this for, you know, 10, 20, 30 years, and they know what a film is supposed to look like. So if you're getting your portrait developed at Blue Moon Camera, you know, they know what portrait is supposed to look like, so they're going to do that. So anyone that says like, oh, I don't edit my film shots, I mean, just by virtue of having them scanned, you are sort of editing them. So anyway, I don't know if that answers your question. I think editing is perfectly fine, obviously. I mean, I can't fathom the argument against it. It's just another way to control what your product is going to be, and your product is your image. So yeah, edit away. Everybody edit. No problem. Anyway, Oh, I'll just show you guys this. This is for no reason. I just saw it sitting over here, and you might be interested in this. So this is a lens we're going to profile on the website fairly soon. It's uh it's a curiosity more than anything. So we're gonna do some interesting shooting with this and see what we can get. But anyway, it's a I don't know if you'll be able to see this. We can get real close. There are some people that I know will be interested in this. I don't know if you can, I don't know if it's focusing on. This is not the easiest thing, but anyway, it's a Takumar, so an Asahi Pentax Asahi optical Takumar 500 millimeter f 4.5, pretty amazing lens, and it's in universal screw mount. So we're gonna have some fun with this, and look forward to that, seeing that on the site soon. This was sort of sent in on consignment, and we're supposed to be selling it in the store, and we're going to, but as you know, at the same time that we list it, I think we're gonna make sure to take it out and shoot and see what it can do. It's just such a curiosity. But yeah, I see another question. Do you ever use wool thread for light seals in your cameras? I haven't. I know there are people that do that, and that was certainly uh, one of the materials that was used more so back in the day, and more so on a very specific type of camera from a certain area. So if I'm replacing light seals today, I just use some foam with an adhesive back, which I think most people use. And I'm not doing any sort of like critical, you know, all I really care about is getting these cameras functional, right? So it's not like I'm not a purist of any kind. So if the foam works, we use the foam. I'm just gonna keep the chat here so I can read it more easily. But anyway, so one of you guys mentioned that you wanted to see the OM lens worked on, so we're gonna do that. That should be fun. We'll save these other ones for another day. Um, what is this one? That's the 200. Before we do that, I'm just going to quickly, very quickly, bear with me, I'm just going to quickly chat with you guys some more and get a couple of these things quickly cleaned up, because that's just part of my job, and that's kind of what you guys are, that's kind of what you guys are seeing right now, is you're just seeing me work, basically. So this is what I would be doing live stream or no live stream. This just gives me a chance to chat with you guys and hang out. Yeah, exposure therapy. It's a good point in response to Charlie's question. Um, wool, I guess, is an organic material, right? So it's going to be a little bit more prone to retaining dust and even maybe producing it, or fibers of some sort over time. So I would use foam. I mean, that's what I do use, but unless you have a specific application that you need to use your wool thread. But my advice is use whatever modern synthetic material you can. Let's see what this says. Finally, a video about cleaning aperture blades. You'll probably attempt to fix a Mamiya M42 lens while watching this. Do it. Give it a shot, man. We've got a couple M42 lenses that need to be worked on. We're gonna do that soon. I was actually holding it in my hand about 30 minutes ago, saying, should we work on this one? And then I just sort of decided I was gonna let you guys pick based on a few options. So yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, wish you luck. Absolutely, man. Good luck. Keep another lens out there operating. Why not? But yeah, it's not as hard as you might think. I know some people are definitely nervous about working on cameras and working on lenses, and I totally get that, especially if you're on a budget, or your photography is sort of limited to a couple of lenses or one lens, and you might be risking ruining uh, your lens or your camera. But just take it slow. Take it slow. Go carefully. Be patient. The best advice is to just be patient. Just take your time, and if you start getting sort of like impatient or you start getting ahead of yourself, just take a break, walk away. Good thing to do too is take pictures as you go, so you know where everything fits. So you take off the, for example, you take off the front nameplate here. You're gonna get to the filter threads, unscrew those, and then you're gonna get to the front element, right? Undo that, but take pictures as you go, and you'll know, this goes here. You'll have sort of a record. Um, Obviously, a video too is also useful. If you want to shoot a video, that's often even better. I will say, I will add in here just you said finally a video about cleaning aperture blades. If you go to the Twitch channel that we have here, Casual Photophile, you click up there, you'll see somewhere on the top there it says videos. So those are all the videos we've done in the past, and that's Twitch's video on demand. Click on that, and you're gonna see that we've repaired or cleaned aperture blades on maybe like 4 or 5 different types of lenses at this point. I mean, and we've only been doing this for a couple months. We also upload those to YouTube. So if you go on YouTube, you'll see a sort of it's not like a step-by-step tutorial, but you'll be able to see me go through it in real time, live, in chatting and all that stuff. So it could be helpful. I would say that for sort of like rigid step-by-step tutorials, there are probably better videos, but we're just trying to sort of chat with you guys and entertain you at the same time. So anyway, good luck. This lens is clean. It doesn't take long. Let me just see what he said. So jealous of that Zuiko. Well, hopefully I can fix it, and then it'll be listed in f-stop cameras. So if you're very jealous, I'll price it right. What is the liquid you're using to clean the lens? So this is just rubbing alcohol. It's 91% isopropyl alcohol. That's what we clean the bodies with. We try not to clean the elements with that because you can get some sort of seepage underneath, and if things aren't as tight as maybe they once were, that can get on the inside of the lens or affect the optical coating if there is one. So no alcohol on the elements, but we clean up the bodies. As I've said every time we've done one of these videos, these lenses are 20, 30, 40 years old. So we just like to give them a good cleaning externally, get all that sort of like dust and grime. Some of this camera gear you get is remarkably dirty. So you can see that by our rags. So we have like a supply of rags, a huge box of fresh new rags. And then next to it, there's the box of used rags, and we only use them for a little bit because this is optical stuff, and we don't want to, transfer dirt or grime or scratch anything. And the used rags, man, it's like stunning how dirty they can get. I'm trying to see if I have, well, so here's one. This one is probably at like, almost to the end of its existence here, so pretty gross. I don't know what people are doing with their gear sometimes, but anyway. Yeah, no problem. Second time you've had a chance to tune in. Thank you for coming back. We love chatting with you guys, and we love doing this, so thank you for checking it out. And hope we're sort of contributing something to your day at least. I will say we're gonna do a giveaway. Actually, let me update this text here so that people tuning in will know what we're up to. You guys can probably see this populating. It's a behind the scenes. So exciting, huh? So this is what we're going to give away today. We're going to give away a t-shirt. If you guys, let me just read here. I'm trying to think about how much DNA you can clean. I do try to think about that. You're making it harder. Or try not to think about that. But if you guys follow us on social media, or if you're on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, you probably saw last night we posted some stuff. We have some T-shirt designs that we just came out with, and we've built up that page yesterday and sort of launched the T-shirts. Right now, we have a couple designs offered in a bunch of different colors. So we're gonna give one of those shirts away today. I have you'll be able to see it here. So these are four versions of the shirts that we have. Um, and yeah, like I said, at the end of the stream today, we're gonna sort of have you guys all sort of chime in and put your name in the hat, so to speak. So we can give you a chance to get this. We'll contact you. We'll contact you guys via Twitch messages, and you're gonna have to respond on Twitch. Just tell us, we're gonna ask for your size, your which shirt you prefer in which color and size, your address. So we'll do that, and we'll give away one of these shirts. But yeah, they're pretty cool. I mean, we're happy with them. Um, Obviously, one is sort of a oblique reference to film, like film and film cameras sort of rising from the dead. We have everybody's favorite German rangefinder there. And then the other one is a frame line for a very popular camera that I'm sure most of you will recognize, especially if you've shot one. Actually, I have one right here. Oh, you can't see it, the stream. So we'll close that off. There we go. So it's a Leica M3, but we're not really mentioning that because we're not supposed to. Look, you can see. Let's see what we can do here. There you go. So those are the frame lines for an M3, right? Let's just. Oh, this is difficult. This is like the least. There you go. Anyway, I hope you guys like them. We've already sold quite a few of these, so obviously people like them, and that's awesome. We appreciate it very much. If you're here and you bought one, appreciate it. Or even if you just said on social media that you think they're cool, we appreciate that too. Because we're always trying to grow the site and create more content for you guys, and this will help us do that. Any sort of revenue that we get from the camera shop goes right back into the site, which goes into creating content, which hopefully increases your enjoyment of the hobby a little bit. So anyway, we're gonna have more designs coming soon. We have some designers working on it. It's expensive to get designs made, but we're doing it, and hopefully you guys like it. So anyway, we're gonna give away one of those shirts. So stay tuned for that. I am going to very quickly give this just a quick wipe. This camera's already been cleaned. I'm just sort of cleaning up. Josh used this body on his recent article, which has been extremely popular, and we're very happy about that. But people have really liked it. I'm gonna link you to it in just a second. But Josh used that camera as sort of, he didn't need a perfect F for that, but so we sent him that one, and he was able to use it for his product photography in the article. So there you go. There's a link. Where do you buy your rags? They're just microfiber rags. You can get them anywhere. I think I get mine at Target because it's the closest store to me. Um, but yeah, that's probably like no one's ever asked that question. It's funny that you asked that. I thought Twitch messages weren't a thing. Yeah, so Twitch messages went away, but they replaced it with a thing called whispers, right? So in the bottom of your screen, you should see like a little chat bubble, right? So click on the little chat bubble, and anyone who's messaged you should show up there. If I'm wrong about that, absolutely let me know, and we'll work out another system. But I think that'll work. But let me know. I've messaged people through there, and some people have messaged back, but some people haven't, and some people that we've contacted as sort of the winners of the giveaway haven't got in touch. So we have like a pile of cameras over here that we want to give away. We're just waiting for the people to get in touch. So. You want to find a cheap source? I mean, Amazon usually is the cheapest source for everything, right? We get most of our consumables from Amazon for the shop. Good morning, Tom in Delaware. Chance to win another T-shirt. Yeah, you saw that? Did you see the shirt? I don't know if you were here. We'll post it up again real quick. So we've got 4 designs. Well, 2 designs in 4 different colors. And if you guys have suggestions of designs on colors that you want to see, or different types of shirts, uh, or any sort of merchandise, we can get these designs on anything. So um, if you have any ideas or suggestions or things that you want, let me hear about it. We'll make them for you. Um, but yeah, you can contact me through the website. Yeah, no problem, Robert. I mean, we actually figured when we were first setting out on this, um, Kyle and I were talking about like, is there going to be an audience? Nobody's doing this sort of thing on Twitch. Twitch was originally a gaming platform for video game streamers. It's branched out into like IRL and sort of talk shows and things like that. There are people brewing craft beer on Twitch, and people doing sort of like knitting tutorial videos, uh, all kinds of things. So there's a lot of different stuff you can watch on Twitch. We're trying to just sort of provide something for photo geeks, and this was the best way to do it. So hopefully everybody's liking it. Yeah, the blue frame lines one is nice. Yeah, we've sold a few of those. People seem to like that one, so that's cool. Tom, you didn't see the shirt? We'll post it up again. Watch the stream. So these shirts here. I don't know if you can see those. I hope that's working. Let me know if that's not working. You guys should be seeing the shirts uh, sort of superimposed. Coffee cup? Yeah, we can get these on a coffee cup. I actually toyed around with the format of those on a coffee cup, and they looked good. We also have there's casual photophile logos that we can do. We had an Aperture logo made up with like CP and all that. Um, but yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff we can do. I was kind of questioning, me and the guys were talking about, will people want to buy a shirt that has our logo on it, casual photophiles? Like some of the guys were like, absolutely, we're a brand and people like the product. But I don't know, I question it. So I'm sort of leaning more towards like, let's make interesting designs and put those out rather than just sort of a CP shirt. But anyway. Yeah, the liquid we're using is just 91% isopropyl alcohol. It's just rubbing alcohol. You can get it at any drugstore, pharmacy, um, sort of a larger grocery store, or probably a small grocery store. Um, I should add, I mentioned this earlier. I'll just get through it really quick if you missed it. We just use isopropyl alcohol on the exterior of the lenses, just the bodies, to get the grime and dirt and dust off. We don't use it on the lens elements because we don't want to damage any of the optical coatings or have the alcohol seep through a lens that maybe not is not sealed as well as some other lenses. And because once you get stuff inside sort of the groups of the lenses, it's a full disassembly to really clean it, or you just have to hope that it evaporates. But that's kind of just not how we want to do things. So you prefer the flavored alcohols? Yeah, me too. I like a nice Scotch. um, what was it though? I think the last article I wrote, I was talking about how I had a little bit too much scotch the night before, but it happens. It happens rarely, I should add. Anyway, let's get to work on this. We've already gone for about a half hour just sort of chatting, which is cool. I like it. But some people might be getting bored, so let's get going. Don't use beer. Yeah, don't use beer to clean your lenses. You know, I was talking to a old-timey photographer. This kind of reminds me of it. Interesting story. I don't know. I'm not gonna say who it was. I mean, it's a local guy. We're in the Boston area, but he's a serious photographer. He's not like me. He's you know, covered conflict zones for some serious magazines, and he's made some shots that you would recognize. If you saw them, you would know the photo. You might not know who made it, but this is the guy that made it. But anyway, he was telling me about one of the times he was over in a tropical area and sort of under the gun, so to speak. And he was shooting a Minolta SRT 303, or no, probably not 303. I think it was like a 201, something like that. Might have even been a 101. I don't remember. Early Minolta SRT, fully mechanical camera, just had a light meter, which he said he never used, obviously. I think most of guys like him didn't really use it, but either way, fell in a river. Camera went with him, totally waterlogged, you know, water pouring out of the camera. And he said that he took off the bottom plate, dumped a bunch of vodka in it to get all the water out, let it dry, and he said it worked perfectly for the rest of the time that he needed it. So, interesting tale about alcohol and cameras, which is I wouldn't do that if you don't have to, though. Oh, I think I saw my brother in here, and I think he asked if this just started, or if this was ending. No, it's not ending. It just started. Well, actually, it started a half hour ago, but we've just been gabbing. So this lens is getting stuck. So it should be, that's the stop down lever. It should now snap back, but it's not. So we're gonna try to figure out why it's getting jammed up. It's probably just oil, but it could be something else. But we're gonna figure it out. Or we're gonna try anyway. Like I said, I haven't worked on one of these, so we're gonna figure it out as we go. Hopefully I'm not gonna break it, but that does happen sometimes. And then it takes me some hours off camera to get it all back together. This is very interesting. I'm not sure what this has to do with that mechanism, but it has something to do with it. It's a nice lens. I mean, it's just beautiful, and these aperture blades clicking. I mean, it's just a nice looking lens. I'm gonna put this mark here. I'll clean that off later. This is just gonna remind me of where everything kind of fits, because I'm a simpleton and I will forget. Give me that peach. getting messages from the guys, the other writers. So I just have to. I'll be right with you. See if I missed anything here. Yeah, you could still drink it afterwards. What could it have in it? Some dirt, some river water, some camera grease. Do you know what is very interesting to me with this lens? It almost seems like the only thing holding it is. That's very interesting. So the only thing holding on this part is the nameplate bezel, which is odd. I've never seen a lens that does things that way. Dave, hey, good to see you, bud. I just noticed that was you when I was reading your comment. Yeah, the ultrasonic cleaners, people have recommended those before to me. I'm sure they work great. You know, I've got to assume that, well, so the first time I take apart, one of these, any lens really. So I'm sort of exploring as I go, right? I think as you may notice, I'm not so much an expert at this stuff, but we figure it out as we go. So what I'm going to do is I just took apart the top there, the nameplate, and sort of gained access to the front element, but it looked to me like that might have been the long way to do it. We're going to find out. If anyone in the chat knows and has worked on one of these, absolutely chime in and let me know. But we're gonna just take apart the backside now and sort of see if there's clearer, easier access to the aperture. And I'm going to lower this camera for you guys because we're working on a lens, so I want to get it a little bit closer. That other position is more for when we're working on cameras and stuff that need a sort of bigger field of view. But anyway. So let's pop off this back. Three screws. Pretty simple. Look, I have this wonderful new mat that has little slots for screws to fit in. Unbelievable. It's like I'm a real pro. To get to through the back, good to know. Let's try that. I know on the Canon FD lenses that we've repaired, it's possible and indeed quite easy to just take out the aperture through the front without really doing much other work. Um, and the Minolta SR mount are similar, but a little bit more work. So we've got so I just kind of so I just took off this plate and I just kind of checked the springs and stuff to make sure everything is working correctly as I go. I also want to make sure I know which way everything goes back in place. This one seems like it's going to be pretty easy, but it can be risky to say that. So that's got to be the lens mount. So on these OM lenses, one of these levers is the mount release and one is the stop down lever. So as I said, we kind of take it slow, see which one is which. So this feels a little bit sluggish, right? So I'm just thinking maybe either well, that's broken. Yeah, I know. So I'm thinking maybe one of these springs just isn't sort of snapping back as fast as it should. Like it could be this spring right here, right? But that could also be because the aperture blades are too oily, right? So there's resistance. So we're gonna clean all this stuff right now. We're gonna clean this stuff. See, the question mark that I have is that inside, when I actuate the aperture blades, I actually don't see any oil on the blades themselves. So normally I would see oil and I would just break into it and get that oil off the blades and clean the lens and we'd be good. But I was initially thinking, well, if I don't see oil on the blades anywhere, maybe it's possible that these springs are just kind of worn and they need to be cleaned. They could also be dirty and have, debris in there that's keeping them from actuating as they should. But anyway, we're gonna get to work on it and see what happens. I'm just gonna clean this whole thing, and I'm going to try to remember where this goes exactly, or make sure that I don't forget. So I'm just going to put an index mark right here, and I'll know that this red point matches up to that red point. Yeah, the exposure therapy, the Canon ones especially, I don't know if you're talking about, there's like that spring in the back that the post has to go through, and then the spring has to hook around it. If that's what you're talking about. Yeah, some of them have that and some of them don't, and the ones that have it are just so much worse than the ones that don't. But anyway, it's worth cleaning them up. So we're just gonna clean this. I mean, there's some grime on these parts anyway that I just kind of want to get clean. I would love to get this lens back to a good functional condition. As we were sort of mentioning, it's a really nice, really nice lens, and I would like to write about this lens on the website. And everybody loves bokeh, right? So everybody, for the most part, I should stress. I don't particularly care about it either way. I'm more of a depth of field guy. When I started out, I was definitely in that sort of bokeh lover camp where I was like, oh man, fast prime lenses, it's all, everybody needs a fast prime. Let's let's all shoot. I'm laughing because I just got a phone call and I immediately had to decline the call. and it's someone who might watch the stream. They would see me watch. They would just see me reach over. Nope. That's what you're talking about? Yeah. I hate that. It's the worst. That spring. You clean those FDs and it takes like 20 minutes to totally disassemble it and clean the aperture, and then putting that one little spring back, onto where it needs to go. I mean, I've sat there for like 45 minutes before, just like with the tweezers, just trying and failing and trying and failing and getting up and stretching, taking a break, meditating slightly. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing too well. Just cleaning and scrubbing. Some rubbing alcohol. 91% is good stuff. It evaporates quickly. Some people say, oh, you should use acetone, which I couldn't disagree with more. Acetone is horrible. It's just a little too aggressive. Can easily ruin surfaces and remove paint. So, not to mention it's bad for you to breathe and to touch. It's one of those chemicals that targets your organs. So, don't use acetone. I mean, so it's cleaner. It's cleaner and it's actuating nicer. I don't think that's the problem, but at least it's clean, right? And I just want to I saw someone said hi and I forgot to say hello back. I believe it was Bulimic Unicorn. Hello, as always, good to see you. Appreciate you visiting. If anyone is joining the chat a little late, I want to just remind everyone that at the end of the stream, we're going to be giving away one of our new t-shirts. This is also something of a plug, I guess. We want everybody to know that we're making these new shirts here. If you happen to buy one, it helps us keep producing the content that we're producing. So if you like these shirts, share them with your friends who might also be photo geeks. I just added a link into the chat. Obviously, you don't have to buy a shirt. I'm just saying, if you like them, get one. They're really good quality. We're not making crazy margins on them because we chose to use higher quality t-shirts than we could. We could have picked some crappier ones, but and made more money, but we wanted to sort of put out a better product. So anyway, if you have some friends who are also photo geeks, share that link with them. Tell them that you like this website, and by buying a shirt, you'll be helping us produce more content. So appreciate it in advance, and if you don't worry about it. Acetone will dissolve balsam too, I think. Oh yeah, absolutely. Do not get acetone on your lens elements. It will, as you say, remove glue. It will remove optical coatings. It's bad stuff. Don't use it. Yeah, I mean, it could be. We're gonna find out. We're gonna clean this spring right now, and if this doesn't make things sort of snap to life, we're gonna dive in. Oh, we just lost a spring. It's fine though. I know where it is. This is the kind of quality you get. It's actually good. It would be easier to clean. We're going to put the spring on this post. Oh, it doesn't want to go on at all. Let's see if we can find a thinner post. Oh yeah, that's good. That's real good. Yeah, so fans will recognize that we are joined again by the void today. There is no there is no co-host. It's depressing. But he had some things to take care of. Couldn't work today. So Kyle has the day off. That spring is nice and clean now. So let's just put this back on. If we can. Man, that's not moving at all now. Oh, I guess that doesn't move. So this whole thing actually rotates. And I am seeing some oil there. It could just be this, guys and ladies. So let's scrub this a little bit. I'm the co-host, yeah. We have so working from home, we have 2 young children, and right now one of them is taking a nap, and she has this sort of like meditative spa music that helps her sleep. And it's, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's all I can hear. It's like this very gentle humming, like this rhythmic hum. Yeah, it's putting me to sleep. I could just close my eyes and sleep right now, especially since they keep you up. Do children very late when they refuse to sleep and they wake you up early. You can hear the music. Yeah, and they wake you up early because they have little batteries, right? So like little kids, um, they lose their energy quickly and get cranky, and then they have to take a nap. But then their little battery recharges quickly. They don't require as much sleep as us adults, so they wake up very early, and it's like come on, it's time to play, old man. Why are you sleeping? My oldest daughter actually says to me, she comes in and tells me to wake up. This is at like 5 in the morning, by the way. Tells me to wake up, and then tells me that the sun is up and she has to play. So, can't argue. Can't argue with that logic. The sun is up, she has to play. Let's go, Dad. So we're just evaporating some of this extra alcohol here. But this whole assembly is operating a lot freer right now. So it'll be interesting to see if when I put the spring back on, it springs back into place the way it should. We'll see. I suspect it won't. I suspect that there's a little bit more going on. But if I can get this lens to a functional state, I would love to mount it up on a OM and then get it mounted onto my Sony A7 II with an adapter and put it through its paces. See what it can do. Make some extreme bokeh photos and get something written up about this lens, because it is one of these lenses that it's not super exotic, right? 55 1.2, but it is, let's face it, sort of, it will be out of the price range or out of the budget of a lot of people who are shooting film cameras today. Just kind of not super expensive, but expensive enough for sure, where some people won't be able to justify the cost. But the reason I mention that is because on Casual Photophile, one of the things we like to do is talk about sort of more expensive stuff, right? Not because it's more expensive, but because just for the reason that I said, that some people won't be able to justify the cost and won't be able to experience using it themselves. So we kind of like to write about stuff like that and sort of convey what it's like to shoot those, and give some sample shots, and at least let people sort of enjoy it in that way, you know, see what it can do, and read some thoughts on it. It's kind of like, you know, car shows, right? Like taking out Ferraris and Lamborghinis and what else? Anything like that, really. That's super expensive. It's people watching the show are probably never going to own that, but it's cool to see them. So okay. Yeah, I mean those blades are still moving pretty slowly. Pretty sure we're going to be breaking into that, but we'll find out. We'll find out very soon. It's never that easy, right? I think that spring's on backwards, but we'll fix it. I mean, this is certainly actuating more rapidly, I would say. Huh. That's pretty good. I don't know if you guys can see it. I mean, that's about as snappy as it gets. Let's just see what happens when we put this base back on. Stupid, useless Canadian dollars. It's a little undervalued, right? Right now, is that right? I actually have bought some things from some wholesalers as late as last week, and I was happy with the deal that I was getting um, on the conversion rate. So F-stop should start accepting Canadian dollars at par. What does that mean? No exchange rate? I think I don't know. It's I want to help you. At the same time, I would like to stay in business. We sell a lot to Canadians, so I'm very appreciative of that. Thank you, Canadian buyers. We also sell a lot to 25% VAT. Good Lord. I hope you're getting something useful for that, like socialized healthcare or something. Because here in America, well, I won't get into it. It's good stuff. Has the Queen of England on it. I mean, yeah, send me some. I'd love to see it. There are ways you can get things on f-stop for less money, I will tell you. So if you support Casual Photophile on Patreon for $10 a month, you get a 10% coupon in 10% off coupon in at fstopcameras.com. So you spend $10 a month on Patreon to support Casual Photophile, which improves the website, gives you more content, allows us to do things like this live stream, and produce 20 articles a month for you guys to read. You know, long form quality articles. You know how we do. So $10 a month gets you all that. At the same time, it gets you 10% off any order at fstopcameras.com. And I'll tell you, many people use them to buy. Well, we've had people buy a Contax G2. We've had people buy a Leica M4, an M6. These are not cheap cameras. So for $10 a month, people are saving $80, $120 on something they might buy anyway. So hey. Oh, geez. I'm already on the 25 a month guy. Good, thank you. Honestly, truly, thank you. I mean, that's a funny way of that we came to that, but I appreciate it. And we'll be sending you out a cool camera. There's actually people. That's what I'm going to be doing after this stream. There's a few people who have been in the camera club tier for the required amount of time to get a camera. So I'll be sending out some interesting cameras today, which is awesome. I think people will be pleased with the ones that we've selected for them. But yeah, you can get cameras from us on Patreon. You can get film delivered to you every month. You can get discounts on the store. We're really trying to give you guys something for your trouble and for your money. So you asked Sony for a free thing and they said no. I'm stunned. Okay, guys, not fixed. We're going to do some other things now. We're going to pop off this front element real quick. Speaking of Patreon, I think we're going to try to do a thing where we give away some of these shirts that we're making too. I'm going to figure out sort of the numbers and figure out how it's going to work, but I think that would be a cool thing to give people who are supporting the site in that way. So we'll figure it out. Oh, that was scary. That little slip reminded me that probably the worst thing about not having Kyle here is we have less likelihood of seeing someone get electrocuted or electrified. I don't know if you guys saw that stream where Kyle got zapped by a capacitor, but that was probably my favorite thing that's ever happened. I was very confused at the time. I was just like, what the hell just happened? Why did Kyle just throw a camera across the shop? And then he just looked terrified. Hilariously. So I need a new spanner wrench. This one is pretty bad. Is there a clip of that? Someone made a clip of it. Someone clipped that. So it's in there somewhere. I don't know how long they last, but if you go to the clips, like over there maybe, I don't know where it is. Go to clips and then search for. It happened a good month ago, month and a half. So you're gonna have to go back a little ways, but I think if you sort it by most watched, we're still a small new channel, so it's only got like 15 views, I think, but it should be the most watched clip. really wanna get that element out. It's fighting me. Trying to fix your Fujica 35 SE, but it's not going all well. What's wrong with it? Why isn't it going well? Be patient. Oh, that didn't feel good. Oh, guess what? Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Is your horn getting in the way? That made me laugh a little bit more than it probably should. So this is frustrating. I was like so sure that I was going to get to the element or the aperture. But all I did was get inside the lens group. So we're going to clean this and we're going to put it back and we're going to try again. I was so excited and then I wasn't. I think I will be buying a new spanner wrench today after the stream. Okay, let's tighten that up. Now we're going to try to spin off the whole thing this time. Focus ring is coming off. Might get hurt. Ooh, that felt like I was going to get hurt quite a bit. I'm going to pull off this. We'll put that back in later. Okay, I might be off camera a little bit to try to do this, but I'll be back. Oh, yes, guys and girls and dogs and cats. I feel like Tom Hanks in Castaway when he made fire. The shutter is advancing, or the shutter is firing when the film advance lever goes back to its original position. I've had a bunch of cameras do that. I haven't figured out why they do that. I suspect it's for different reasons, depending on the camera. I have managed to fix it on some. I know that probably doesn't make sense, that I don't know why it's happening, but I've managed to fix it. But I have sort of fiddled around. in the bottom plate. I'm just cleaning that out because there was a little bit of something. This is a front lens group. You can see there's a few, I think 2 elements. There might be more. 2 that I am sure of. So let's see if I put this here. So that should be wide open. I should be stopped down. Look at that. Do you see it? Let's see if it evaporates. It does. That means it's alcohol. I'm trying to click that link. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Oh, here we go. Yeah, absolutely, Shenmue. I'll be all over that. You know I will. Oily. It's not oil though. It's alcohol. It's from when I was scrubbing the inside there. But we're gonna see if we can clean that out. Ideally, I should get in there and really clean it, but try to do everything as minimally invasive as possible. Hey, what's going on? Good to see you, bud. You're a little late today. What's up, man? You got real life things going on? To answer your question, we're working on a Zuiko 55mm 1.2. Just doing a quick aperture blade cleaning, which I shouldn't say it's quick. It's been an hour, but we're almost there. I don't think it's going to need to be disassembled any further than we already have, because I think most of the trouble was happening in the external linkages and not in the aperture assembly itself. So seems to be working pretty damn well now. We're just kind of evaporating the last bit of alcohol that we had in here, actuating it and getting some airflow and all that. Then we're going to clean the interior of this rear element, and then we're going to put it back together, and I'm going to test it. I'm going to test it out. I'll probably actually shoot it tonight. I have plans to go out with an Olympus Pen W. I don't know if you guys know about that camera, but it's extremely rare. And it kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier. It's one of those things that most people aren't going to spend the money on. So I want to shoot it, talk about it, and maybe I'll use this camera with the Sony, or use this lens with the Sony a7 II to do all the product photography for that. So it'll be a big Olympus love fest. And then tomorrow I have a lot of listing to do in the shop. I think tomorrow's post on Casual Photophile might be a film profile. That's the plan anyway. That's what's sort of penned in on the editorial calendar. I think we're going to have Dustin writing that. Good guy, really good photographer. And he does some really excellent film profiles too. His film profiles go very in depth with his development technique and his processes of scanning as well. So it's they're very useful. They're not just sort of like, here's a bunch, you know, here's a dump of 75 photos taken with Portra. He kind of tells you how to make the most of it and get sort of like the best results from each film's characteristic look. And the scanning information is great too. I think on the stream here sometime we're gonna do a couple things. We've talked about one before. You guys have probably already heard us talk about it, but we want to do a development stream where we show you guys how to develop film from start to finish. But then I was thinking I also want to do a scanning stream, because scanning is like one of those questions someone asks me probably every day. Like, you know, what scanner should I buy? How do you scan, you know, film negatives? And it just seems to be one of those things that there's a lot of question marks surrounding it. So it might be cool to show you guys how we scan film for our articles, and might be useful. You think Kodak film is easier to scan than Fuji? Yeah, I mean it's like a film by film sort of case by case basis, I think. But yeah, there are definitely some films that dry. I mean, a big thing is the drying, right? So like there are some films that dry super flat, and you get much less curvature when you're scanning, which might be a little sharper edges, but oh yeah, Superia is, yeah, absolutely has sort of a color cast to it. You definitely have to spend some extra time color correcting, I would say, with Superia. I wouldn't argue that. So that said, Superia 1600 or Natura 1600, whatever you want to call it, you know, based on where you live, it really is right up there. Favorite color films. I mean, it's just amazing. 1600 speed, super sensitive. You can use it in situations where, like, you know, basically no other color film is going to get you any kind of result. It's just amazing. I have made some of my favorite shots ever with Fuji 1600 and Contax G2. It's really sort of like a dream team for me. But as is more and more often a part of that conversation these days regarding Fuji, it's discontinued. So the 10 rolls that I have in the office are probably the last 10 rolls I'll ever have. So I'm not going to be paying sort of the extortionary prices that some resellers on eBay are asking, and it's just not worth it to me. You're very late to the party? Well, better late than never, pal. Glad you're here. Thanks for joining. We're working on a 55mm f1.2. We're cleaning oily aperture blades again. Very common affliction, so you'll probably see us do that a lot, but each lens is different, so hopefully it'll be interesting. And as we've mentioned in the past, there's always a chance of someone getting sliced or electrocuted, so that's, you know, we try to keep it lively for you guys. I'm by myself today. You probably noticed, no Kyle. He wanted to be here, but he couldn't. He's got an obligation that he has to attend to, so Kyle's not working in the shop today. So it'll just be me. I'm going to be finishing up this stream, then I'm going to be listing a bunch of stuff on f-stop, and then I'm going to be going out with an Olympus pen wide, very rare camera, and hopefully we'll have a write-up for you on that camera by next week. Did he electrocute himself? Yeah, he did. He's dead. He died. It's very sad. No, he's just taking care of a appointment that he had, so he'll be back. He better be back. I need him. Too bad. Yeah, I'll tell him. Tell him you guys were asking. Fuji trying to be edgy. They're very sort of a conservative Japanese company. I don't think they've been edgy ever, right? Fuji's very much, well, they do things by the numbers, I guess is what I'm saying. Have you guys ever felt we live in the wrong time? Yeah, pretty much. There's a term for that. There's a term for that, and the term is escaping me at the moment, but there is sort of a name for that phenomenon, and it's sort of been discussed academically as a real thing. So it's interesting. You can look it up. It's an interesting thing to read about anyway. Do I really think I was born in the wrong time? It's sometimes I think that, but then again, at the same time, I remember that everything that has been made is still sort of being made, right? So it's like, I have a friend. He's still a friend. I shouldn't say I had a friend. He's still my buddy. I just don't see him as much because we're both older now, and you know, both have kids, and you just don't see each other as much. But anyway, he used to say that a lot about some of his hobbies, especially sort of automotive. He was, or he is, a very sort of enthusiast about cars and motorcycles and stuff like that. But he used to say that he, you know, wishes he was born, wishes that he was born, you know, this year or that year or whatever, and that would have made him sort of like the right age in the 80s or whatever, when all of his favorite cars were being produced and he could have bought, you know, this or that or whatever. But I was reminded him that he can still do that, right? He can still if you love a car from the 80s, you can still buy a car from the 80s. You didn't have to be born then, you know, as long as you can find one, which you can. I guess that's what I'm saying. Everything you can find the thing that you like and still enjoy it. Um, you know, without sort of being like, oh, this time period that I'm living in is kind of crappy. Because it's awesome. There's so much good stuff happening. I mean, technology is amazing. I love that I can shoot these old lenses on a brand new Sony A7, right? It's the best of both worlds. And at the same time, I can have in my bag a film camera that was made 55 years ago and still shoot it. So, yeah, I know what you're saying, and I agree, kind of, but it's not all over. I'm missing some chat. I'm gonna go back. The 35 SE is a nice looking camera in my opinion. It really is. Wish I had the f1.9. Anachronism, I think. That's hilarious. Look up dental care or surgery. Yeah, fantastic point. I'm a big fan of anesthesia. So anyone have any nice thrift finds lately? That's a question for the chat. I don't really get to go to thrift shops, which is unfortunate. I just there really aren't any local to me that are reliably, you know, reliably or consistently have interesting stuff. Plus, I'm pretty much stuck in the office or the house all day, every day, working or taking care of the kids or whatever. So I hope someone in chat has found something cool lately. Argus C3 for $5. That's not bad. Those are cool cameras. Those are very easy to work on too. That's another thing that's nice about those. If you get one and the focus ring is a little stiff or something like that, super simple. Paperweight, they say? Yeah, kinda. I guess. I don't know. I used one. I used one for a few weeks. I wrote about it on the site. Picked up a Minolta XGM for $22. Need a lens recommendation? I'll recommend the lens. You should get the 45mm f2. Fantastic lens. I mean, it's pretty well known. It's not like something exotic. I didn't just blow anyone's mind. But it's a fantastic size, and the images that you get from it are amazing. So here you go. What I'm gonna do. This is just something I do to help out. So that's our review of the 45 f2. Oh, paperweight, they say, yeah. Well, they're wrong. They're always wrong, right? Thrift store people. But anyway, yeah, check out that link to the 45 f2. It's great. I think Jeb wrote that, if I'm remembering correctly, and he has some amazing photos. Man, that kid, he can shoot. So, something that happens with the site a lot when I look at the other guys' articles that they write. I'm the editor, so I have to kind of go through everything and get it ready for publishing. I'm always just amazed at how good they are. They're just so good. So I get jealous quite a bit when I see like Dustin's articles, Chris, Josh, and Jeb. They just seem to really nail it every time, but I guess I have to keep practicing. You can get the 50 f2 and f1.7 for a dime too. Yeah, absolutely. All those Minolta sort of standard primes, the lenses that they used to sell with the cameras are very cheap. So I would say the 45 is just smaller. I mean, that's kind of the selling point of the 45 is it's a little bit more compact than the others. Wow, there's an unhappy child upstairs. But at the same time, it's not much smaller. So if you can find a 50, you can get a 50 as well. So this is the 45. Little smaller. People call it a pancake lens, but it's not really a pancake lens. It's just a small standard lens. But yeah, you can see there's a little bit of a size difference. It's lighter. So this is the 51.7. We'll be repairing that. This one's listed in the shop right now. I think someone said that they were just looking at it. So here it is. I mean, it's in fantastic condition. I'm obviously not going to make like a sales pitch. We want you to buy stuff from us because we guarantee it, and we try to produce uh, content based on or using the revenue from the shop. That's how everything keeps going. So we want to make sales, but at the same time, no pressure. We're not like that. So saw a Rolleiflex for 300 in a thrift store. Man, it's a good deal. I probably would have bought it, depending on whether it's working and all that. But Time or Sports Illustrated, yeah, $15 each. I think we sell those at f-stop. Like anytime we get one of those like toy cameras with the plastic lens, I think we sell those for like $10. Yeah, 15 is too much. I mean, it's only five more bucks, but at the same time, you know, they're toy cameras. You're gonna get interesting results, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's worth much. The Mi 1000 DTL with 3 lenses, a ton of accessories from the Vietnam War. That's awesome. That post on the Nikon F that Josh just published on the website had a lot of links in it to period pieces from that era, Vietnam, and man, oh, and Korea, the Korean War. Geez, it was some of those links were an eye opener. If you didn't click through on those, like if you just read the article, the Nikon F retrospective, and you didn't click through to like the Time magazine articles that we linked to, you should go back and do it. They're just some of those photos and the experiences and the writing that accompany them. Geez, man, it's eye opening. It's amazing what some of these photographers went through to get their shot. It's just unbelievable, and many of them did, end up uh, dying over there. So that sort of adds that extra wrinkle of, I don't know. It's a little sad, but the commitment to the craft is admirable for sure. If you're wondering why the child is screaming, it's nap time, and they don't like to take naps. So that's it's a it's a protest cry. But we're about done anyway. We're gonna wrap up. I had this lens all fixed, so we're good to go on that. Like I said, I'm gonna take that out tonight actually, and make sure it's working perfectly, and hopefully get some shots, and hopefully this will be a camera that we cover on the website pretty soon. So if you're interested to see what kind of shots I'll make with this thing, check back in a week or so. It shouldn't take too long. I'm gonna shoot some black and white film. I'll dev it at home, and we'll have the sample shots pretty quick. And like I said, we're also gonna shoot a Pen W, do the product photography with this. So it'll be interesting. We'll see what it can do, and hopefully I'll get some decent photos tonight. I haven't been out shooting for myself for a long time, so I'm gonna go try to help the child go to sleep now. So everyone who's commented here, you're automatically entered to win one of those shirts that we just came out with. I'll post that again. So we've got these shirts, and we're gonna give one away today. Um, so like I say, every time, check your whispers down at the bottom. You'll see a little chat icon. Click that, and if you have a message from us, you'll be entered. Or if you have a message from us, that means that you want a shirt, and we'll get your size, your color preference, and your which design you want. We'll get your address, and then we'll ship you out a shirt. Uh, Lead time on the orders is like 5 days, so and then shipping on top of that, so it was 7 days or so to get to you. But And that's the same if you buy it in the store. So if you go to fstopcameras.com, go to the accessories and apparel keychain, something like that. I can't remember. There's a page on there. You can see the shirts. So um, check them out. Share them with your friends. We would love to move more of these shirts so that we can keep doing stuff like this, making content and providing you guys with some additional stuff for your hobby photography. So anyway, thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in. We're gonna get out of here now and get back to work in the shop and then do some shooting. So hope everybody has a great day or night, depending on what time it is, or morning. Take care and happy shooting. We'll see you next week. We'll be back on Thursday, and we might be back this weekend. Sometimes we do a weekend stream, Saturday or Sunday. So obviously I'll let you know. Check in social media. Check on Facebook, Instagram, and the website, of course, casualphotophile.com. And we'll see you soon. Thanks, guys.